Going live. 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Recap, we're going live.
Ngibamba lapho. Iheke izofika-ke iheke nalana.
Okay.
Yeah. Yasolishero nafika.
Yeah, we live. Oh.
Wacela ngithi wacela so uyahlanganisa
Uzofama amasavana la ekhoneni.
Your group has got the same. But guys, what we are discovering here is that some of these laptops they're not compatible with projecting. So Sharon is saying maybe some other guys must also check before they leave, so that IT department can resolve the issue. Some of the laptops might not connect to a projector if you go to another place. So she's advising that before we leave, maybe we might like to see IT to check.
This is why we need to finish early. I think. Some space to see the technician.
In the meantime, I'll play you some relaxing music.
I will then, there must be a backup system. There are 4 laptops in the group. The one there must be someone. Six. There should be a backup system if this one does not work. The other one might. Guys, the department might not have figured it out.
Wena wayesafinish kunzima kodwa kusizoba lula manje.
Yeah, kufuna.
Hayi ke manje hayi shakathini cuts. Paste.
La ngafike e-B. Ngeke phela masayini
Sho ibrand yayo.
We future.
So cha kodwa kwakumele bahlale bayimali unamanje uyasebenzayo aziteki isikhathi
Ithembile mina grade 12
so khona lana
ukhona umuntu vele asithi grade 12 Ever USB so install OPS
Did I eat the week?
I don't know.
Ngina khona ngoma yesterday.
manje ke enza right now iyasave nango umuntu osengaphelele
Yeah, basho nje bese automatically. Yes, but you say
isave kwabantu
My documents.
my document
Yeah, on the PC, my documents. It should be saved. It should save. Hey, yabona nje, yabona ubona lo form. Later she files down forms.
oh yena yona yisibu i-PowerPoint
Video edit.
ngina online.
Hold a late command.
But I'll see epic.
Mana ikhapha nje ngifile. Do you have USB?
Go to the online OPS. Whatever page.
Something that said that was in this lecture. Relax.
Oh.
Relax. Sit up.
Leshonila.
Such a hammer appreciation.
You see the
Ingenzeni
Are you done hacking?
But I got
Only pieces.
kanti la uyaphekela umsebenzi usebenza kuphela manje ekhaya bakufuna ngeni
Wakhuluma ngathi ayazi lento.
ngiyazelapha nangazi nebhudu.
Okay, guys, they're about to be here.
Yeah, no
So, I'm going to split this from the design. Prepare our presentation for the learners. So, what we've done, the first thing that you've all have seen is that if you want to carry out your lesson using technology, you need to prepare. Do a lot of preparation. So, just to start the lesson, sometimes you need to give learners that encouragement, inspiration, especially some motivation and some quotes, things like that. Sometimes they boost their it's like us, like me, you see, in an assembly when you were in high school, there was a teacher who used to say, perseverance is a mother of success. So that thing is drilled into my memory, I cannot ever forget it. But it's the first person I heard it from, and after a while, it stayed on my mind. It's been a motto that I use. Okay, so with this lesson I'm going to carry out, we're going to start with the wow effect, because Mr. Jobe has pushed us. He pushed us very far. So guys, I'm going to ask you to please, you go to your laptops, we're all connected to the internet. Please go to your laptops, go to YouTube. Even on your phone like Tiane, please go to YouTube. Even you, Shara, please go to YouTube. So on our wow effect, I love technology. So you're gonna, as a teacher, you can record a lesson, or you can start by creating a YouTube channel. You go to YouTube, you subscribe, you create a channel, then you record a lesson. Once you record a lesson, then you can post it on YouTube as a video. Then I can go in and watch it. But what I want us to do now is different from that. I want us to go to YouTube, and then when you're in YouTube, just type inside the YouTube. You go to Google, sorry about that. You type YouTube. And you can type the following, you can search the following, it's my page, Rich Future. Then you select Rich Future by GSK. right now. We have a live session. So I wanted to incorporate as our effect a live session that you are doing right now.
Oh.
So while you can be teaching in your own school, you can have other teachers in other school being part of what you are doing. You can have a learner, that lazy learner who's very smart, who don't want to come to class for revision. He can be at home, he logs into the internet, he can see your lesson while you are having it's live, it's happening right now. So cameramen, please move around the camera so that they can see themselves. So this is our wine effect.
I want to see myself.
It's your bedroom, right? Type in the future by DSK. Now, even on your phone, then you go to a live session. Because this is a live session. It's not like when you pre-record the session, like what Mr. Story was saying, with the OBS app. You can make that lesson and also upload it to YouTube so that everyone can watch it at the later stage. Rich future by DSK. Alright.
Uma cameraman yosiveza so.
Hayibo, ushethe ngaleduze cameraman. Ushethe ngaleduze cameraman.
Ipetra yeah. Yeah, ikhona.
Cameraman, I don't see myself.
Ilokuze bisirekhodiwe leyana vele. So uzovela nje uzobona.
Okay, let's start afresh this live. Sesi on.
This is what you are teaching for on YouTube. So I need to for this, because what I've decided, I've went live. So even on Facebook you can go live, but with YouTube, the best thing is, after playing this video, I'll post it, then you can see what I don't have to worry about the story. So let's say as a class and a teacher, maybe you have certain paper if you are revising, you can set up a camera in the venue, and you can do a revision, maybe a 20
Akakaveli kwamanje face.
go back and rewatch your video. Even a teacher can be there with you while you are revising as a team, wherever they are, they can watch the video. Even a teacher in Johannesburg, wherever, so it's bringing us together, doing together. So this is how So I'm getting to the presentation. So in our presentation, we have to do the internal resistance.
Okay, so how do I record the video?
So you make sure you post it up on YouTube. So I think I'm gonna need a camera.
Yeah, take it.
You can take it on your phone or whatever phone. You can use your phone, then you go to YouTube and go live. Anyone with a YouTube account?
No.
In the room?
YouTube account?
Yeah.
So I need to create it.
You got a YouTube account. I want you to use your phone. Because you're gonna go to YouTube, then we select live.
Most especially if you have a dongle.
Oh, dive.
So here, click this button.
Okay.
And you go live. So you say okay.
So do
No, woman, you mean
they just need to search for my name.
We just have to search for you for your account.
Oh.
Yes, and they will know your account when you're live. Okay, let me just put on this one.
Mina ngizibona live now.
You can
Go live.
yeah, press that plus button,
Plus.
then select go live, then allow access, allow everything, just allow.
Even the bank account.
Then just say okay.
Even the back account.
Just allow everything.
Account going live.
Plus, ne?
Just say go live. Going to save your content, your video.
Oh.
Yes. It's like creating a Facebook account. It's simple.
But
Just
it
say
doesn't
subscribe.
allow us.
Sign in.
Look at what it says. It says requirements to live stream on mobile. You'll need at least 50 subscribers. Because mine doesn't allow no live streaming restrictions. Only the last
Ah, yeah,
everything. We almost failed to verify the channel of people who was it? Hours before you can start the first live stream.
Especially when I'm not subscribed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why would you be live?
If no one is following you.
But the phone open up the phone number video.
Accounts, yeah, accounts, and then you create your account. So you need what minimum of 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't.
Also on Android.
Well, Mtum,
Yes.
please refresh your YouTube so that we can see from that screen.
So guys, on this one,
Refresh.
let me just go back.
Yeah, bese
So this is just YouTube.
ngena futhi ku account yakho.
Then you say, or just you want me to go to straight to my account.
Yes, uze. Oh,
To log into your account.
no. No. Come on. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying, what I'm asking is, can you refresh? Uphinde ungene futhi wena so that this
Khona
this
bezoyibona.
camera can appear.
Oh, okay.
Reach,
So for the YouTube channel, guys, what I'm figuring out, I wasn't aware of it, because I've created my account long back. It's been active over the years, so there have been people joining every now and then on my channel. So I think you need to create a YouTube channel, have your learners create their channels, and then people will subscribe. Because what we found from there, Ms. Lukis, is that when you need a minimum of 50 subscribers on your account, so that you can go live. Alright, so while you are here, these videos have been taken prior, I've loaded them, but this one is the live one, the current video taking place now. So when you click live, the camera is active. No, it's free, it's like a Facebook account.
No, someone to subscribe.
But to subscribe, it's free as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So cameraman, how do you landscape?
It won't allow when you go live. If you go landscape, it takes to the camera. Yes. So this is another way to capture the moment, because sometimes you find that you are teaching and you deliver a content in a very good way, and you wish you can capture that moment and have it for other uses. So this can actually help you, even if you are another good teacher in another place. Okay, if you don't want to go live, there is another option where you can use what Mr. The story was saying. Where you use OBS, you record your session, then you go like create, then you upload a video. So you take a video, you save it, then you're gonna upload it to YouTube as a video, not going live. There's another option. But this one is more interactive because it's happening at the time. Many people can be part of the session. So there are two ways you can do it for YouTube. Because as a teacher, so when you're gonna record a video and save it, you're gonna go and upload it just like what you do when you upload an image. So you go to your computer, you pick the video, then you upload it. That's another way of doing it. Okay. So to go further to our lesson, are there any questions? TikTok, I haven't used TikTok a lot. It's too busy for me. There's too many videos. It's too busy for me, TikTok. It's good for the younger generation. So this is what we've done.
Anyone who owns TikTok.
So we get to the internet resistance. I took just a picture. I put it there just to make it look interesting. Before starting the lesson. Then there's a video we went on YouTube and we downloaded the video using the other methods in the class. So this video is quite good because it goes into
No
details.
such thing as internal resistance. So what is internal resistance? Well, let me explain. In an ideal world where there is no such thing as internal resistance, you would go to a shop and you would buy yourself a 9-volt battery. You would then connect your little 9-volt battery over here, and you would switch your circuit on, and you would then connect your red and your black crocodile clips over there. So in real life it would be this type of device. And guess what? On the screen you would have 9 volts. Perfect.
So what we like about this video, this guy is quite thorough. We just use some practical examples. Then we talk about the battery, give you an image of the battery, give you a voltmeter, we tell you what you're going to expect as you are going along. So the trial selected this video is like 7 minutes, so I'm not going to play the whole of the video. Then these are the topics we're going to anything to expand on while we are delivering the lesson. But we wanted to make highlights of this equation because they have to be in grade 10 and 11. And this is just the introduction because we thought that it will be better before we start the lesson to play a video for the learners, watch the video, engage with the video by listening, and then while we are teaching, now as you are delivering concept, they are starting to relate to the video you were watching earlier on. They can even ask you questions based on the video as you are teaching. That's why we started with the video on our lesson. This we took from one of our worksheets from Vula, the file on the laptop. It's PDF screenshot because this one also give us a nice presentation of the cell with internal resistance or battery with internal resistance, especially coming from grade 11 and 12, 10 and 11. This is like a new symbol to them that's being introduced at grade 12. So here it's clearly out. Then there is more. We are getting into the lesson with internal resistance. These are other important equations that we're going to be dealing with. So just putting images so that it stick on their mind. And with this one, we wanted to highlight the difference between a normal circuit in grade 10 without internal resistance. This is a circuit with internal resistance. So that's what we wanted them to compare and see in our lesson. I won't go into detail with everything. So that's another circuit. We're just going through the lesson here. And then when we go to this part, it's a FET simulation part. So we wanted to make a FET simulation without the internal resistance being part of the cell in a battery. So we have taken a screenshot of our FET simulation. So during the lesson, like what you saw me doing earlier, was that during the lesson when I get to the slide, I will stop, then I'll go to the FET simulation, then I will recreate that simulation. Okay, just to observe what's going to happen when there's internal resistance and take the measurement. Then, I'm not sure if I should do it now.
Is that a yes or no?
Because I prepared it on the laptop. So, we have this setup where there's internal resistance, where there is no internal resistance, and then we're also going to do the same setup, but now having to look into the fact that if you look here on this bar, we are starting to play around with internal resistance because on the other slide, the internal resistance was at 0 or at a low point. So that was setup number 2. Then after the FET simulation and questions and answers, where they got questions maybe on what's happening on FET simulation, we give them an activity. If you go to Vula laptop folder, there are some activities. We took this from there, this is our resource. And then there are some answers because it's just the starting of the lesson. We're getting used to what is being done on the activity. For the homework, this is like the more fire part. No DJ schools to bring more fire. Yes. So after teaching, you need to give learners some fire so that they can go home and do on their own. So we'll share a link with learners which we have created using Google Forms. This is our form that is created, it's our quiz. You can download it. So what we did, we went to a DVD paper. This question, if they don't want to prepare it fast, it's a question which is just testing some of the concepts that you're learning. It's a multiple choice question, but I want us to go to this one. Sharon showed us a feature where you can copy a question and modify it. So we went to TPE, I think it was 2021 June. We took this question straight, we copied it, and then what you need to notice here, when you copy this image, at first we copied it with the wording, with the writing on top, without cropping them out. Then we only had to put that as a question. Okay. Then we put the options. That is the first question. But in this question, it talks about, it says ignore the internal resistance. So it's testing that circuit without the internal resistance that was carried out in the lesson. Then we copied, we duplicated this one, and with the second question, very similar, same circuit, but now we have to cut out that statement. Cut out the statement. We provide the same circuit, but now the statement is out. But the questioning is still the same, nothing has changed. So we are just trying to see, does the learner understand that when there's internal resistance, this is how the circuit is going to operate, and when there's internal resistance, that's how it's going to operate. So that's what we did for this one. So yeah, we're going to share the link with our learners. They can do it at home, it's a later stage. Another thing that we were discussing yesterday is that if, let's say, your learner don't have a phone and things like that, with a phone, it's easy. They can even work on a computer because you just open the links and give it to them. You open the form, then the learner can work on a computer and submit. Another one works on a computer and submit. Doesn't mean that everyone must have his or her own phone. Let me see. Yeah, on a Vula folder, we're gonna make. If you go to the Vula folder, we're gonna give them in chapter 7. There's a nice PDF document which we're gonna give them on the website. There is a worksheet that they're gonna take home. On YouTube, if you go to YouTube, there is this channel that we came across while we were looking for internal resistance. What we liked about this channel, we saw that meaning this content is created by someone within South Africa. So the language, while it's presenting the lesson, will be more familiar to our learners. That video was playing was coming from this channel. So sometimes, like the earlier video was playing where one of our colleagues had an Indian accent. So sometimes some learners like us learning English as a traditional language, it's not easy to understand and interpret when someone is using a different accent like from other international countries. So this is a channel from South Africa. So I think it will be beneficial. On the other side for teachers and learners as well, there is a site which is called Numeric. So if you go to your Internet Explorer or your Chrome, you can type Numeric. That's the page. I came aware of it a few years back, Numeric. Numeric also got some good information, especially if you teach math, for videos and other material on math. Numeric is quite good. So you can also use it for your learners. There's a video on Numeric, like this one, that I had taken earlier on. So instead of just teaching rounding off, I know it's something simple, but some learners still fail on rounding off. So you can also make your learners aware of this page Numeric, whereby they can go there, interact with it, watch those videos, just learn some concepts in an easier way with videos. Yeah. So another resource that we've added here was the NECT website that I talked about earlier. Yes, on the NECT. What is good here? On NECT, what is good about this page as a resource for a teacher, also a resource for the learner, is that when you go to it, there's a lot of material, but when you go to your material, you'll find that there's a material for teachers and material for parents. If you go to material for teachers, we didn't add everything in our presentation, but this is just for extra after you finish your lesson. So there are different learning areas. For physics, you can go to physics. There are different terms, I'd say maybe term 3, and term, there are some electric circuits based on our topic. So you will find that they'll have a video on electric circuits. It is NECT.
Today we carry out two different tasks with electric circuits. Firstly, we
And this one has been prepared in line with our curriculum, with KEP's curriculum. So it even carries out the actual practical we have been carrying out in class in that grade. Sometimes it is. I can show you the one for heating and cooling curve in grade 10. I've used this one with my class as a proper practical with the class. Because they show you the readings, they say they pause the video, watch it, take the readings. You can actually use this content for a practical in a class if it covers the similar topic. Maybe I can play it out a little bit so that you can see. Yeah.
the resistance of the battery. Secondly, we compare the measured resistances of two series and parallel resistors with their calculated values.
Here's the apparatus that we'll use for these investigations. We have three 10 ohm resistors, two 1.5 torch cells, a voltmeter, and an ammeter, as well as connecting leads.
The battery will be constructed from two 1.5 volt cells connected in series. Our task is to determine the EMF of the battery and its internal resistance.
We won't find the EMF of each cell or each cell's internal resistance. We are measuring these quantities for the battery of two cells in series. Three resistors can be combined in a few different arrangements so that the effective resistance ranges from a minimum of 3.3 ohms to a maximum of 30 ohms.
Before we start taking measurements for this investigation, read and complete questions 1.1 and 1.2. Press the pause button now. We are ready to carry out the investigation. There are quite a few arrangements of these three resistors. Your answers may differ slightly to the arrangements that we will use for the investigation, but never mind, they are probably correct. Your teacher will assess them later during marking.
We will use the following values of effective resistance: 3.33 ohms, 10 ohms, 15 ohms.
So what also this is helping you as a teacher, let's say you have been doing some practicals, maybe you've been teaching maths, now you come to science. So sometimes can also assist you on how you can actually do the practical in class, step by step, give you a good guideline.
As they say, we must read the questions.
Yes.
Are they on?
Yes, the questions that they're going to be dealing with are also on the page. I'll show you. Yes, it's also uploaded. Let me just fast forward it, then I'll show you the resource where the questions are.
We connect a voltmeter across the terminals of the battery. When the voltmeter is in this position, it also is connected across the terminals of the external circuit as well. The ammeter.
They'll carry out the experiment up until the end. They'll tell you to take measurement, where you need to take measurement, they make recordings. Okay. Now, on the same page, NECT. So here you got the content books, then you got the resource pack, then you got checkers. When you go to the resource pack, every material is downloadable. It's down. Even lesson plans for that topic is there. Yeah. You can take some questions from there, you can adapt it, you can do a lot with this content. Okay, so this is the booklet which comes in. Maybe you've seen some of them in the groups, with the teacher groups. This is the main source. This is the main source. So this is also the booklet. So, sorry? Yeah, this is like the worksheet question.
Yeah. You just type on network Google Chrome.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to grade 10, also for the memo and everything, but it's going to be very beneficial to you as a teacher. Because even for GET as well, there's some material for natural science, grade 8, grade 9, even, yeah. Even, So, what else do I have to prepare for you? Sorted. On my way back to my seat, I'd just like to play these few words from this guy, and that's my bye-bye.
Things you,
So these are the ways I want you to listen.
when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change.
Let me say it later again.
When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Albert Einstein once observed that the most fundamental and major decision that you have to make in your life is this: do I live in a friendly or a hostile universe? Which is it? Is it a universe that is filled with hostility and anger and people wanting to hate each other and people wanting to kill each other? Is that what you see? Because when you see the world that way, that's exactly what you will create for yourself in your life. This is from great scientific mind. And the interesting thing is that this is not just a clever play on words, that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'd like you to imagine the following scene. You're in your house. You've got your car keys in your hand. The lights go up. Power failure. You can't see a thing. You stumble around in your living room and you drop your keys. And you look around for a moment and you realize that you're never going to find them in the dark. But you look outside and you notice that the street lights are on. So in your mind, a light bulb goes off. I'm not going to sit around here in the dark and grope around looking for my keys when there's a light on outside. I'm going to go out here under the street light. I'm going to look for my keys. Why are you laughing? This makes a lot of sense. So you're out here and you're groping around and you're looking for your keys and you're looking and looking, and your neighbor comes along and says, "What happened, Wayne?" "Well, I dropped my keys." "Well, I'll help you look for them." And the two of us are now down here looking for our keys. And looking. Finally, he says to me, "Excuse me, but where did you drop your keys?" "Well, I dropped them in the house." He said, "You mean to tell me that you dropped your keys in the house and you're looking for them out here in the street? Light doesn't make any sense." And I said, "Well, it doesn't make any sense to grope around in the dark when there's light out here." You laugh and you think how silly that is, but isn't that exactly what we do when we have a problem, a difficulty, a struggle that is located inside, and we're looking for the solution outside? So
Thank you so much. So even for our learners, that works for them. That when they look at science, sometimes they might look at it as difficult. But when they start to change the way they look at it, they might see it being something. So thanks a lot. Even coming to Vula, when you enter the grades, the setup is different. But when you change the way you look at it, then you see that you are here to be rehabilitated, to be rejuvenated, to be refreshed, and to be motivated again, to go back to those learners and give them some more energy. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Sharon, sorry. Sorry, Sharon. There is something I just want to ask you guys. Are you aware of, more especially for our learners, they have it. There is a data, there is a WhatsApp data, and a data. I know the story.
Yeah.
Are you guys aware of Fundamate? Fundamate. There is a number. It's actually a robot, but it's specifically for those who teach maths and life sciences and physics in grade 12. It's designed for grade 12 learners. What it does, you save the number, and you chat to this robot. For example, you'll type June 2020 paper 2, and then you hit enter. It will give you the paper with the memo at the same time. So what I will do, I will just give you the number that you have to save. The number is 060 070 3213. So it's 060 sorry 060 076 070 sorry 3213. Kuba. Oh. So what it does, you save that number, you go to that account. It will ask you some couple of questions, well, like your school, your name, everything, and then once you need any paper, more especially if they've used the WhatsApp data, it also they can, because there are some options. Learners, they do use WhatsApp data more often than the network data. So you can use that number, it will give the papers.
Thank you. Gaining a lot from each other here.
Go to
there's one last web address that I want to give you, and I'll show you what it does. It's going to link you to a Google Drive folder that you can all have access to. And if you can please put your presentations, other resources you've developed during this week, you can put in there. Just type this in, this address. And when you type that in, I'll show you where it will take you.
Sharon, will you please show the address again? You just moved too fast, yeah.
There's the address.
The address?
Type this into your browser.
What should I gonna do?
It will take you to a page that's got a link to a Google folder. This was just easier than giving you the Google folder address, which is long.
She moved too fast for it. Okay, I'll ask it at the end. Sharon, please go back.
Go back to the link. Maybe this we will take the picture of it.
Okay.
So that's it.
Because while we are still typing,
Okay, so type that into your browser. That will take you to a web page. It looks like this. You click on here and that will open. See, I didn't want you to type in all of this, so I just found a way around it.
Oh, physics for science teachers, yeah, I found it.
But this is a folder that you all have access to. And if you can load everything you
So
once you type solitude.org.za/Vula,
go to Chrome and search it.
let me go back to this.
Solitude, you
In
said
your
solitude.
browser, just type that.
Oh, solitude.
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 Who's D?
Solitude.
No, I said solitude.
It's just my own website that I then added the page, Vula, so that I could put the link there.
Oh, let's slide it. I'm USB.
Oh.
Angithi edithile kuwena.
Oh, okay. Silence, okay.
Click here, and this will direct you to the Google folder.
So where's the new button? Okay.
And, or you could always copy this address here of the Google folder and store it somewhere, but to type this address would be terrible.
But there is another way you can do it. You see that at the top,
Yeah.
next to your address, there's that star. If you move to your left, that's gray star. You click it, then you make it, save it as a bookmark. So every time you go on Chrome, just click done. Every time you go to Chrome, as soon as you type the address, it's gonna come back. Or you can check it on your bookmark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that you don't have to forget it.
Yes.
Go to that star, click it. That gray star, click it. Just press done. So when you're working on that computer, every time, even if you can just say solitude, then it's gonna predict it. Then you can go to the page. One last thing we have talked about, Sharon. There's a thing about Zoom Teams that you talked about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that anyway, so you know, and then from here you can just drop files here
Can you drag?
for each other. Yes. So you just drag. Let me give you an example.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just going to get a little video of something.
Island in Pagalinto, man. For solitude, you retreat at what?
So you just drag it from your folder and drop it there.
Stroke. Oh, Anketa.
So yeah, you can also maybe put in as a folder that says something like internal resistance, and then everything that's inside there, just so that people can find their way around. Okay. Right. So that's just so that you can share your work with each other easily, rather than passing around flash drive and then you don't know if you've got everybody. Okay, Zoom. Someone asked about using Zoom. You know which one I prefer these days is Google Meet. But I'll show you Zoom as well. I've got Zoom here. If you're wanting to talk face to face with somebody, there are a few different things. There's Teams, Microsoft Teams, but you have to pay. I always prefer free things. So I never use Microsoft Teams, only if I'm invited from someone who already has it, like Uma Lucy, they invite. But Zoom is free for 45 minutes, and I think it has some other limitations, like the number of people. But how many people have used Zoom before?
Teams, it was Teams.
Okay, a few. It's one of the meeting platforms that you can use. And what happens when you go to the page, Zoom video conferencing, you download the app, the Zoom app, which I've already got. So I won't download it. And what happens when you install it? And it opens a window like this. And you can create a new meeting there already. You see it. It shares your screen. Okay. So that just starts a meeting straight away. What you can do, let me just end this, is you can schedule a meeting. So if you want to invite somebody to talk with you, you schedule a meeting here, you kind of set your date and time and everything. You can set a passcode. I always make that easier. The passcode, I usually make it my name. Something like that. All sorts of other kind of, and then you go save. You can make this for you, yeah. So it's scheduled the meeting. And I asked it to create a, I don't know if you use Google Calendar. If you don't, it's a very good tool. And it will add this meeting to my Google Calendar. So it's a very helpful tool. I won't get into too many of the technicalities because there's a lot of, you become familiar with it as you use it, and I think you can find YouTube videos that help you to know how to use Zoom. But there's another one that's called Google Meet, and I'll just show you that one. Might come with the tools. Yeah, there it is. So you know where you found forms before? You can look in that same list. There's a list called Meet.
I'll click again. That's what we should know.
You can create a new meeting. Somebody can send you a code or a link for a meeting. Let me start an instant meeting.
Oh, yes, we need.
Alright, now if I want to say to somebody, come and join my meeting, you can see as soon as you start a meeting, there's something here. This is the address of your meeting.
Yeah.
It comes up straight away. You copy that. Now I'm going to just send it to you all. If you want to type this now into your browser, so let me just zoom out a little bit. Okay. Type that into your browser. You don't need the HTTPS. Just type. Yeah, no, type this whole thing into your browser, on your phone or on your computer, and I'll show you what happens. Meet.google.com. All of this.
Sharon, please put it up again.
Okay. I'm going to do split screen.
Your camera is starting. Notification. Oh.
Now I need to give people permission to join, so okay, now someone, Rich Future, see wants to join, so you can say, yeah, admit.
Okay.
Okay, so there we've got our
Hello.
You can turn on your camera. Yeah, there we go.
That's
Who
Sharon.
else wants to join our meeting?
Um,
There's the address.
address is that one at the bottom, the black one.
Let me let in this next person. Siabonga is joining us. So you might need to turn down your volume because now we're getting feedback. So this is usually where we're far out from each other.
Just say okay. meets.google.com//HFN. Yeah.
Okay, and you can just keep doing this. So this is just the meeting that I made.
/KFN. KFN. Then what's the thing? Dash MIHR dash NHF. Okay, that's what for me. Allowing my okay. This means this has to join. So she's gonna allow you to join. Yes. So the best thing here is that you see we are meeting here. The mic sound down. What's the volume? Yeah. It's like you need to close the volume.
Can you give it after the end what you have said?
KFN dash MIHW. KFN. Oh, this one didn't want to show. Oh, Seabonga. Welcome, Seabonga. Ask to join. Ask to join. Click ask to join. Ask to join. You need to click to ask to join. Because if you don't ask to join, you won't be there. I don't know which one you're gonna take out. Not the first one. Nah, the second one. Yeah. You can take the second one out. Yeah, this class the class on time.
Sometimes if there's some friends and I had during COVID, a friend of mine had her 60th birthday party or something. So we decided that we would have a Zoom party. And we had music and we were all dancing in front of the screen like this. And then what happened was that someone from America joined by mistake.
Yeah?
And he joined in the party.
Sharon.
You can even connect with people wherever you are. For me, all my work became, now when I do all my Lucy workshops, you only use this now.
And now correct. Yeah. So Sharon, if let's say you wanna say something, what should you do here? Let's say I wanna speak to you and others need to mute.
Yes.
How do we, let's maybe create a conversation.
Okay, so let's make a conversation. So can you see there's this button here on your screen?
Yes.
And that is to turn off your microphone.
Hello?
So if you hit that button, it turns off your microphone. Now you won't hear me coming to your computer because I'm mute.
Okay.
And that's important just to keep so that there's not too much, and if your dog is barking in the background, you can mute.
Oh.
And this is so that there's only one person at a time who's talking. And then you can do things, and this is really important for when you're working together, is if you want to share your work, then here's something called Present, and on Zoom it's called Share Screen. You can share a window, and I'm going to share the presentations window. And it's going to come up here, and it will come up on all of your screens. And
Wow.
then I can share something like, this is my thinking about whatever. And it will come up on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so this way, it's just a very helpful way of working together. And then when you're finished and you want to stop sharing, you just get stop sharing. And it will go back to our normal window here. So I'll just go through the steps again of how to start.
Okay, I'm coming then. Yeah. Don't go. Going to Bafuna. Bafuna. Things is anything.
So I'm going to end this meeting for everybody. Okay, the last person joining, Vula is joining us.
No, so
Okay, so I'm going to show you how to set up a meeting and then how you can get the address of the meeting to send to other people. So I'm ending this one.
Vula, we can't see you.
you're not live.
Sorry, I ended the meeting.
Oh.
Okay, we're going to start afresh. Just closing all of this.
But you need to give it a permission to show your
So to
face.
set up a meeting, go to these in the corner here again on Google Chrome, and you can go to Meet.
Yeah.
And again, this is a free one. Google have done so many free things. I think it's just
So
a
I-
wonderful tool.
So now it means you're gonna create a new meeting.
So I'm creating a new meeting.
Okay,
I'm just
so-
showing you how to do it. You click on create a new
Log off.
meeting. Yeah. If somebody else has sent you a meeting link, like just now, let me show you. Our meeting link was this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so you would just type that into this where it says meeting link. Otherwise, you go new meeting. No, that's if you want to schedule a meeting for
Okay.
later. We won't do that. Yes, you must explore all of those kind of things for yourself. But just new meeting, start an instant meeting, and it just starts it straight away. Here we go. And then here, this is that address that I shared with you. And
The new
this
one.
you can send it out on WhatsApp, on email, whatever, to invite other people. You can also add others here. You can send an invitation. Can someone give me an email address? I think I still got yours in Bolivia. There we go. Okay, I think I've invited you to the meeting through email. There's all sorts of different ways you can invite people like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
We got a whole lot of us onto a Google Meet just now, just to show them how that works as well. But all sorts of bits of free technology out there to use.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
As an exit. Meeting is over.
Yeah, okay. So I know one of the questions that you've been asking, Sharon, and also discussing among yourself, is how important this thing is. Yeah. Okay, to teach. Okay, now a really good one is going to cost you anything 10,000, 12,000, 14,000, 16,000. You can't avoid it. That's what a really good one costs. We ordered some the other day that have now got a speaker in it as well. So when you actually play something up there, the sound will come out of here. It talks to it by Wi-Fi. The people that were at Vula Maths last term, we found these little cheap ones on Macro online. They were 2,500, then they went up to 2,600. They're not fantastic. They're not nice and bright like this. But if that's all you can afford, you know what? It's better than nothing. So it means the guys that are sitting at the back that can't see, they must come and stand here. You've got to make a plan.
Yeah.
If that's all you can afford, if you can't afford 14,000, you can only afford 2,600,
Go for
then you
it.
buy the 2,600 one. The only thing I'm warning you about, don't move a projector, a cheap one or expensive one when the bulb is hot. Because if you pick it up and move it, and oh, I want it next door, oh, the bulb is going to go. And the bulb to replace costs more than a new one. Okay, the bulbs for these are 3,500 each. So you know what happens when it breaks? You throw it away and you buy a new one. Because a new one is cheaper than the bulb. So I'm just showing you these. They're available online. They're available online.
Macro online.
Macro online. Okay, and when we ordered, they were 2,600 rand each. They're not brilliant, but at least that you'll be able to see the picture. Okay, I mean, these ones now are ridiculously expensive. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
I see you've already been uploading. Look at what our Google, our drive looks like already.
Yes.
So that's great. Yeah, so keep loading your things. If possible, can you load them in a folder?
All right.
So that we know what all the things are kind of connected with. But this is wonderful. And so you can all go to this Gmail, Google Drive, and download whatever you need. And then you can adjust what the others have done and make it your own. Important thing is to make it your own, so that when you present it, you know the thinking involved. Very good. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I needed to just brush up on before we round off. Any other?
Things are expensive.
The new meeting.
That's cheap. Not 40,000. But it's the quality. It's the quality. Depends on the quality of the project.
Did everybody leave the meeting? The new one. I can't even remember where. Bobelia, did you get the invitation?
Yes.
Can you give me the meeting code? Let's see how the meeting code works.
The letters.
Yes.
KND.
KND.
VXZ.
VX.
Yes. ZQ.
ZQ.
JZN.
That's it.
That's not like that. It's 4 letters. 4 letters. In the middle.
In the middle. VXZZ.
KND.
VXZ.
VXZ.
Oh, okay. And then the last.
JZN.
Oh,
I read that.
and are you joining?
Yes, I'm going to join just now.
Bishara.
Okay. Ready to join, yes.
KND. VXZ. Q. JZN. Yeah. Don't have to worry about the space. Just type them, I'm son. KND VX. Whoa. Whoa. JQJ.
Mine is off as well. You can also, if you're struggling for data, you can turn off your camera like that.
Oh, save some.
If you've got a profile picture loaded, it shows your Google profile
KND
picture.
VXZQJZN. ZN.
And this way you can just, you can be in a meeting, not use much data, you can just hear what the person says, and then just turn on your mic when you need to talk.
Oh, turn off the mic. Ooh. Is the hacker.
The hacker.
He's busy hacking the sound.
So all you need to actually join a meeting is those letters. Or you can, even from inside a meeting, if you click on these, you see this little picture on the right hand side, the bottom of the screen. If I click on there, let me just admit, if I click on there, it shows me everybody who's in the meeting. See here. If somebody's making a noise, you can remove from the call. Someone's disrupting. And here you can add people. You think, oh, we forgot to invite so and so, let's quickly invite them.
Yeah.
And then you can just add their email address. You can just type their email address there quickly.
We are going with technology now.
Like we did just now with Mobile, we invited it to the meeting.
Smile Sakumtian.
It's how it's sitting.
That's what it is, Tom.
During COVID, I was even running workshops with people in Iraq, in Kosovo, all over the world, just like in this.
It's on mate.
It's very powerful. I think it got a lot of business done during COVID. So that's a very
Oh, hey.
And if you want to, especially if you've got some sharp learners and you want to, you can even work with them over the weekend without all having to come into school. You can just say, let's have a quick tutorial, and you'll see how amazingly effective it is to just actually do it through this kind of meeting.
Okay, Sharon, on the last part that I've almost forgot, I've just overheard what Njabulo is saying here. Said, I'm going to remember this data. Guys, I'm not speaking on behalf of any companies. I'm not getting any endorsement or anything. But for data, there are contracts that you can take from MTN, Vodacom, all the networks, which are data SIM only. Maybe you can Google one package there while we are on it.
Yes, I've got that.
Yes, whereby maybe let's say for MTN, a data only SIM, you might be paying maybe 200 Rand and maybe getting 40 or 80 gigs a month.
Yeah.
Yes, whereby you take a contract, either you get a second phone or you're gonna put that card and you're gonna use it for hotspotting to your main device. You see, just buy a cheap phone, you put that card in, you don't make calls with it or anything, it's just a contract card for data only. But the nice thing is that I can use Vodacom SIM only or Telecom or MTN, but to buy data on prepaid, you might be paying maybe $100 for 1 gig, but here you might be paying 300 Rand or maybe 200 Rand for 80 gigs, which is way reasonable. But it's a 24-month contract, so you can take it just for data use, or you can buy a router where you put the card on a dongle. The nice thing with this contract is that they give you data, maybe 40 gigs during the day, 40 gigs during night time. If you don't finish it, sometimes it's extended to the next month, but every month it refreshes. You don't have to use that card for making calls. It's only for data. Yes, but what you need to be aware of is that you need to look into your working environment, like at work, which network is good in that area. Or maybe at home, which network is good in, and then you take that package. It's quite cheap and affordable.
Yeah, I get 299 Rand a month and I get 60 gig a month.
Yeah.
And if you don't use it that month,
Yeah.
you get from the previous month
Into the next month.
Pay 199.
It doesn't go on forever.
For
but it's
60.
60 gig.
Yes, and you can't finish it.
That's good.
Yeah, and you can't finish it.
Only, so you do need a hotspot or
Yeah.
an old. What I do is I use my old cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
It's my Wi-Fi in the house.
Yeah.
I use it to make my hotspot.
Instead of buying a router. Yeah.
So it's a good way.
And another thing is like, yeah, and another thing is when you have a laptop, sometimes a laptop like Windows 10 always got those updates which are constantly updating. And once you hotspot your laptop, it's gonna finish your data fast if it's like prepaid data. Yeah. And you can set your laptop for later at night when you are sleeping, just make the updates while you're sleeping. Yeah.
Okay, so I want to give my appreciation for all of you for being so active in this workshop. It's been one of the most exciting workshops I've had for a long time. And so there are some forms here now.
Happy.
Okay, Lloyd asked if we can fill in these evaluation forms.
Nice.
He uses them. I know
fun.
you were doing the one on Google Forms for me. Those of you who haven't, if you can please do it, because that's for my own feedback. But Lloyd uses this, and he uses sometimes your comments about the workshops. He sometimes uses it in the annual reports. He uses your comments for donors. To say, please give money for these workshops. See how much. So your comments here are very, very valuable for getting funding to keep these workshops going. So if you could please fill these in so that Lloyd can use them in that way. And also just to let us know how we can improve things for future years. We value your ideas.
We are good. Where is home? Not far.
Not far, but I'm tired.
Hamba ngi pop. Oh, yo chica vaya Vula. Nah, no. Like I usually go the side. I prefer this one than it all because it offers for how much but when I'm in
Ngisho lokho